The desert wind cuts across Coyote Pass, the same stretch of land that once promised unity and peace. Now it feels like a battlefield waiting for a spark. Meri steps out of her car first, eyes scanning the horizon as if the dust itself still whispers the arguments that broke them apart. Janelle follows close behind, clutching a thick folder to her chest. Her voice trembles with determination. This is it. The meeting that changes everything. They walk into the Flagstaff developer's office together. The air inside smells like cedar polish and money. A man in a gray suit slides a document across the desk. $2.8 million, he says. Cash offer. We can close in 10 days. For a second, Meri's hand freezes above the contract. She can hear Kody's voice in her head, the one that always told her she'd never survive without him. But then she looks at Janelle, steady, unflinching, and something shifts. The sound of the pen scratching paper feels like thunder. They sign. Freedom doesn't feel like celebration. It feels like silence. That same afternoon, miles away, Robyn's phone buzzes with a bank notification. A transaction alert, escrow deposit, parcel number 3, Coyote Pass. Her heart skips. She opens the email, scrolls through the attachments, and there it is. A digital signature from Meri C. Brown. Her face flushes hot. She storms to the living room where Kody paces with his phone pressed to his ear. They sold it, she snaps. Kody stops mid-stride. What do you mean, sold it? I mean, they sold our land without you. Within hours, he's in full rage. He tears through old binders, papers flying, looking for copies of deeds. They can't sell what's mine, he shouts. Robyn slams the printed escrow receipt onto the table. Then explain this. By morning, reporters already know. Headlines flash, sister wives' land war erupts. Cameras swarm the Coconino County Courthouse. Meri keeps her sunglasses on as she walks past the crowd. Janelle whispers, "You ready?" "As I'll ever be." Inside, Judge Ramirez presides with the calm of someone who's seen families crumble over less. "We're here to address ownership and sale authorization of Coyote Pass parcels A through C," she says. Robyn's voice shakes but stays sharp. "They committed spousal fraud. My husband was excluded from a marital asset sale." Meri's attorney stands. "Each parcel is titled individually. No joint signature was required. The sales were legal. Do you have the deeds?" The judge asks. 3 envelopes slide across the bench. The clerk opens one. A hush falls over the courtroom. Faint ink shows Kody's name scratched out beneath Meri's. Judge Ramirez squints. "Who altered this?" Kody stands. "I did. It was a mistake years ago. I fixed it." Janelle shakes her head. "No, he changed it after we filed." The judge folds her hands. "Then we'll need the originals." Meri's fingers twitch around her purse. She doesn't move yet. Testimony begins. The doors creak open. Christine enters quietly, neutral tones, unreadable face. She sits behind Meri. Kody glances back, irritated. "You don't even belong here," he mutters. Christine leans forward. "Actually, I do." Judge Ramirez looks up. "Ms. Brown, do you have something relevant?" Christine nods. "Yes, Your Honor. A second deed, filed under Robyn's company, SR Holdings LLC." The courtroom gasps. Robyn's mouth opens in disbelief. "That's a lie." The opposing lawyer lifts a folder. "The LLC traces back to your Flagstaff address, Mrs. Brown." Kody slams the table. "You people are insane." Judge Ramirez's tone hardens. "Enough. If there's a duplicate deed, this may move into fraud territory." The silence that follows is suffocating. Reporters stop typing. Even the bailiff shifts uncomfortably. Recess. The sisters regroup in the hallway. Janelle turns to Christine. "You knew about that second deed?" Christine nods. "Found it last month. I almost burned it until I saw the company name." "SR Holdings," Meri whispers. "Robyn's initials." "He did it for her," Janelle says flatly. Through the glass window, Kody paces, reflection fractured by the light. Outside, evening falls. Reporters shout questions as Kody storms off. Robyn trails behind, tears streaking her face. "You promised this wouldn't happen," Kody spins. "I didn't think she still had those papers." "You're the one who told me to make the LLC," she yells. Flashbulbs catch every word. The sound bites hit social media before they reach their cars. That night, Meri sits alone in her kitchen. The weathered envelope rests on the table. The original title deed she's kept hidden for years. She runs her fingers over the rough paper, feels the past pressing back. The phone buzzes, a text from Janelle. "We need to show it tomorrow." Meri glances at the framed photo on the wall. Kody, the wives, all pretending happiness. Her eyes fill, but her hand doesn't shake this time. She tucks the envelope into her bag. Morning, Court resumes. The room is still. Judge Ramirez clears her throat. Mrs. Brown, do you have anything further to present? Meri stands. Yes, Your Honor. I have the original title deed. Kody freezes. Robyn's hand claws at his sleeve. The judge nods. Bring it forward. Meri walks slowly toward the bench. The envelope slides onto the wood with a dull thud. Ramirez opens it. Her expression shifts from curiosity to shock. Everyone leans forward. The judge whispers, This changes everything. The courtroom doesn't breathe for what feels like a full minute. Judge Ramirez's eyes scan the paper again, as though a second look might change what she's reading. Finally, she lowers it to the desk and says quietly, This deed lists a co-owner who wasn't disclosed in any filing. Kody shifts, his voice cracking. That's impossible. Ramirez looks up. It names Robyn Sullivan Brown, not as spouse, but as trustee of SR Holdings. Murmurs rise like thunder. Reporters type furiously. Janelle's face drains of color. Meri closes her eyes. Robyn presses her hands to her cheeks, whispering, No, that can't be. The judge raps the gavel. Order! She turns toward Kody. Mr. Brown, did you authorize this trustee addition? Cody's jaw tightens. I might have signed a draft years ago when we were restructuring. Janelle's voice cuts through. You forged it after the separation, Kody, gasps. The air turns cold. Christine rises from the gallery. Your Honor, if I may, the file number on that deed matches the one on the SR Holdings ledger we found in my storage box. It's dated 18 months after Kody moved out of Meri's house. Ramirez nods slowly. Bring it forward. The bailiff collects the folder. Pages flip under the judge's fingers. Her expression hardens. This ledger shows withdrawals from a joint family account. $250,000 transferred to SR Holdings. Kody stands. Those were payments for taxes. Christine fires back. No, they were for the down payment on Robyn's mansion. The gallery erupts again. The judge slams the gavel. Enough! Mr. Brown, Mrs. Brown, I am freezing all transactions involving these parcels until we confirm rightful ownership. Kody's shoulders slump. The power he carried for years flickers out in front of everyone. Reporters outside relay the chaos in real time. Judge freezes Brown assets. Fraud under review? Cameras flash as Meri exits. She doesn't smile, but there's a steadiness in her walk that wasn't there before. That night, Flagstaff's skyline glows under storm clouds. Inside Robyn's kitchen, the tension hums like electricity. Kody stands by the window staring into nothing. You told me this would protect us, Robyn says, voice trembling. It was supposed to, he mutters. It was supposed to keep the land safe. Safe from who? From them or from me? He doesn't answer. Robyn wipes tears, gripping the edge of the counter. You used my name, my company, and now I'm the one under investigation. I did it for us, he says quietly. No, you did it because you can't stand losing control. Silence stretches between them. A pan clatters in the sink. Thunder rolls outside. The next morning, court reconvenes. The bailiff announces that the state financial examiner has been called to testify. A woman in a charcoal suit takes the stand. My office reviewed the transfers. The funds originated from the Brown Family Trust account, the one meant for children's education and retirement. A collective gasp. Christine shakes her head. You stole from the kids. Kody leans forward, furious. You don't know what you're talking about. The examiner continues calmly. Each withdrawal required 2 signatures. One is Mr. Brown's. The other appears to be Mrs. Robyn Brown's. Robyn's lips part. That's impossible. I never signed anything. Judge Ramirez studies her. Then who did? The examiner flips the document toward the court. The signature is shaky, slanted, almost childlike. Meri whispers. That's not even her handwriting. Christine whispers back. It's his. Kody's voice rises. You're accusing me of forging my wife's signature? Ramirez replies. At this point, Mr. Brown, I'm considering the possibility. Reporters' camera lights wash the room white. Janelle turns toward Meri. He's cornered. He's going to explode. And he does. Kody slams his fist on the defense table. You all benefited from me. You lived in my homes, spent my money, used my name. Now you stand here pretending you're victims? His voice cracks. The mask finally slips. I gave everything to this family. Janelle stands. You gave control. Not love. The judge calls for recess again, but the damage is done. The courtroom buzzes with whispers of arrest. Outside, rain begins to fall. Christine opens an umbrella for Meri and Janelle. For a brief moment, they're side by side again, the way they were years ago. A fragile unity born out of shared exhaustion. Inside, Robyn sits alone at the table, hands shaking. She looks down at the copy of the forged deed. There's something strange near the signature. Her face pale but steady. Meri, Janelle, and Christine sit together for the first time in years, shoulders aligned, eyes forward. The sight alone sends murmurs through the gallery. Judge Ramirez calls the session to order. Mr. Brown, before we continue, I've received notice of a new filing, an alleged backup deed submitted late last night under your name. Would you care to explain? Kody's eyes flicker toward his lawyers, then back to the bench. That deed was created years ago. It was simply updated for record accuracy. The judge lifts an eyebrow. Record accuracy or cover-up? The courtroom goes still. The bailiff brings the document forward. A crisp, new deed stamped just 2 days ago. The name across the bottom glints under the fluorescent lights. SR Holdings LLC. Again. But this time, there's an additional signature, faint, messy, and unfamiliar. Janelle leans toward Meri and whispers, "That's not Robyn's writing." Christine squints. "No, it's too forced." Like someone traced it. The judge scans the document. "Mrs. Robyn Brown, do you recognize this signature?" Robyn shakes her head. "No, Your Honor, that's not mine." "Then who signed this?" The judge asks, voice cold and precise. No one answers. Then, from the back of the courtroom, a voice breaks through. "I did." Heads turn. A man in a worn brown jacket walks forward, tall, with graying hair and a nervous posture. He introduces himself. "My name is Dennis Ford. I was hired as a notary for Mr. Brown in March of 2022. The judge gestures for him to take the stand. "Mr. Ford, are you confirming you notarized this document?" "Yes," he says carefully, "but not in the way it looks here. I was told it was a draft. Mr. Brown said it was just for his records. When I asked who SR Holdings was, he said it was a family management company." "Did Mrs. Brown sign in your presence?" He hesitates. "No, ma'am. Her signature was already there when I received the paper. But now that I see it again," he swallows. "It looks different. Like it was added later." A ripple spreads through the courtroom. Robyn buries her face in her hands. Kody sits motionless, jaw tight. The judge presses on. "Mr. Ford, are you aware falsifying a notarized document is a felony in this state?" He nods shakily. "I am now. Did you alter or forge this document?" "No, but I think he did." He points toward Kody. The room explodes. Reporters leap to their feet, cameras flash, voices shout questions over each other until the gavel pounds 3 times. Judge Ramirez glares at the crowd. "Order, or I will clear this courtroom." The chaos dies down, but the damage is irreversible. Kody's mask of control has cracked wide open. Ramirez turns to him again. "Mr. Brown, the court will be referring this matter to the state attorney's office for review. Until then, all assets under SR Holdings are frozen." Kody rises, red-faced. "You can't take everything from me." Meri's voice rings from the gallery, calm and steady. "You already did that to yourself." He whirls toward her, eyes wild. "You think you're free now? You think this land will save you?" Janelle stands, her tone sharp as glass. "It's not about the land, Kody. It's about finally telling the truth. For the first time." Kody looks small, just a man realizing his power doesn't scare anyone anymore. The judge dismisses the court for recess, but no one moves. The tension lingers like static. Then Christine stands, turning toward Robyn. "You can still fix this," she says softly. "Tell them what really happened." Robyn shakes her head, voice trembling. "He'll destroy me if I do." Meri steps closer. "He already has." Robyn's breath stutters. Tears spill down her cheeks. She whispers, "There's more." "You don't know everything." The judge, overhearing, raises a brow. "Mrs. Brown, if you have more evidence, now is the time." Robyn hesitates, then nods. "I have a recording. The night he made me sign the trust transfer, I hit record on my phone." The judge gestures. "Bring it forward." The clerk takes the phone and plugs it into the speaker system. The courtroom holds its breath as Kody's voice fills the air again. This time rough, angry, panicked. "Sign it, Robyn." "You don't get to question me on this. If Meri and Janelle want to leave, let them. We'll lock them out forever." Then a sound, papers rustling, Robyn sobbing, and his voice again. "Just put your name on it. I'll fix the rest." The room falls silent. Kody's face turns white. Robyn's shoulders shake. The judge leans back slowly. "That's coercion, Mrs. Brown, and forgery." She nods, crying. "I know." For a moment, no one speaks. Then the judge says, "Mr. Brown, you'll remain under investigation for fraudulent conveyance and potential perjury." He sinks into his seat. Christine whispers to Meri, "It's over." Meri shakes her head. No, this is just the beginning. Outside the courthouse, reporters descend like thunder. The words "arrest warrant under review" flash on screens. Fans and onlookers crowd the steps, shouting questions about what happens next. But inside, the women walk together, silent, united, and tired. For the first time, they're not wives, not cast members, not rivals. They're survivors. That night, Kody returns to an empty house. The silence cuts deeper than any courtroom verdict. He pours a glass of whiskey, his hands trembling. On the counter lies an envelope, the same kind Meri once kept her deed in. It's addressed to him. No return name, just one line written in neat, familiar handwriting. "You said we'd never leave." "You were wrong." He tears it open. Inside is a copy of the original deed. Every name but his has been legally verified. Kody drops the paper, sinking to the floor. Outside, sirens echo in the distance. The rain has stopped, but the storm hasn't. By the time the courthouse lights go dark, the story of the Brown Land War has reached every corner of the internet. News channels run segments by the hour. Social media burns with hashtags, or Coyote Pass trial and justice for the wives. Kody's face appears on every screen, caught mid-yell during the hearing, eyes wild, fists clenched. The man who once called himself the protector of the family now looks like a man on the edge of losing everything. That night, Meri, Janelle, and Christine gather in Meri's inn for the first time in years. The fire crackles in the old stone hearth, shadows flickering across their faces. Steam rises from mugs of untouched tea. Christine breaks the silence first. "Do you think he'll really be charged?" Meri looks into the flames. "If the state gets that recording analyzed, yes. He signed, he forged, he manipulated. It's all there now." Janelle leans back, exhaustion painted across her face. "Part of me still can't believe it." After everything, he still thought he could rewrite history. Christine lets out a small, bitter laugh. That's all he ever did. Rewriting his version of the truth. There's a knock at the door. Meri opens it to find Robyn standing in the rain again, soaked, her makeup smeared. This time, though, there's no hesitation in her eyes. "He's gone," she says softly. Christine frowns. "Gone?" Robyn nods. "Left the house an hour ago. Packed a bag and said he needed to fix things before they fix him." Janelle sighs. "That sounds like Kody, always running when it gets real." But Robyn looks frightened, not frustrated. "You don't understand. He took files from the safe, documents, USB drives. Things the court didn't see yet?" Meri's voice sharpens. "What kind of files?" "Financial statements, transfers, the same ones tied to the trust." Christine stands abruptly. "Then he's not running." "He's destroying evidence." Meri grabs her coat. "We're going to the courthouse first thing in the morning." Robyn hesitates, voice trembling. "There's more. I found something after he left. A letter in his desk." She pulls a crumpled sheet from her bag and unfolds it carefully. The ink is smeared from tears. It's a confession. "Sort of." Meri takes it, reads aloud quietly. "If you're reading this, it's because I did what had to be done. They took everything from me, my family, my legacy, my purpose. But they'll never take the land. The land will always be mine." The words hang in the air like smoke. Christine whispers. "That's not a goodbye letter. That's a threat." Janelle's eyes narrow. "Then we have to get ahead of him." Morning breaks gray and heavy. The courthouse opens early for the emergency session Judge Ramirez has called. The sisters arrive first, followed by Robyn. Meri's phone buzzes. It's a message from the courthouse clerk. Kody Brown failed to appear. Warrant pending. The room fills with tension as Ramirez enters. "Ladies, we've received new information overnight. Mr. Brown is now considered a person of interest in connection to tampering with legal evidence. Authorities are searching his properties." Christine's eyes widen. "All of them?" The judge nods. "Arizona, Nevada, and Utah." The bailiff brings in a sealed envelope. Inside is a USB drive. Anonymous delivery, dropped off at dawn. "It was left at the courthouse door," he says. The judge plugs it in. The screen flickers, then displays folder names, SR Holdings, Trust Ledgers, Recordings, a video plays. It's shaky, recorded in a dimly lit office. Kody sits behind a desk, his face half in shadow. "They think they can erase me," he says, voice cold. "But every dollar, every acre, every piece of this family exists because of me. If I go down, they go down too." The video cuts out. For a moment, no one speaks. Judge Ramirez exhales. "This is direct evidence of intent to conceal financial fraud." I'm issuing an immediate arrest warrant for Kody Brown. Meri closes her eyes, whispering, "It's over." But the judge shakes her head. It's not over. It's just starting. Meanwhile, miles away, Kody's truck speeds down an empty desert road. Dust billows behind him as he grips the steering wheel, jaw tight. He talks to himself in fragments, half rage, half desperation. They all turned on me. I built that land with my hands. My blood. He pulls over at an old gas station, throws open his glove box, and pulls out a small black drive. "No one's taking this," he mutters. "Not them. Not the court." He dials a number. "I need a favor," he says to the voice on the other end. "I need to move something." Quietly. The voice responds low and steady. "You're in deep, Kody. You need to stop before it's federal." "Too late for that," he replies. "I'm not the only one with dirty hands." He hangs up, slamming his fist on the steering wheel until the horn echoes through the desert. Back at the courthouse, investigators swarm the courtroom collecting the USB for evidence. Judge Ramirez dismisses everyone for the day. The sisters step out into the morning sun, exhausted but unbroken. Christine turns to Robyn. "You did the right thing coming forward." Robyn wipes her face. "I just couldn't live with it anymore." Meri nods slowly. "None of us could." Janelle glances at the flashing cameras. "What happens now?" Christine gives a small, sad smile. "Now?" We wait. But as they start down the courthouse steps, a police cruiser pulls up fast. An officer steps out, speaking urgently to the bailiff. The judge appears in the doorway, waving the sisters back inside. "Meri, Janelle, Christine, there's been a development," she says. Kody was located near the Nevada state line. He attempted to enter a storage unit connected to SR Holdings. Meri swallows hard. Was he arrested? The judge's expression softens. Not yet, but there's something else. Inside that unit, investigators found documents, old hard drives, and a stack of unmarked envelopes. Robyn frowns. "What's inside them?" The judge hesitates. "Each one is labeled with your names." The sisters exchange uneasy glances. Christine whispers, "He planned for this." "Even if he fell, he wanted the last word," Ramirez sighs. "The contents are being reviewed. You'll be notified as soon as they're cleared for release." Meri nods, her voice steady but low. "Then this isn't over yet." They leave the building together, flashes of cameras blinding them. But this time, they don't flinch. They walk forward, shoulder to shoulder. The story has outgrown them. It's no longer about property or jealousy or even betrayal. It's about truth catching up after years of running. As they reach the parking lot, Christine looks up at the sky. The clouds have finally broken apart, sunlight spilling across the desert. "He can hide all he wants," she says. But the truth has a way of finding people like him. The sound of a distant siren grows louder, echoing across the valley. The following morning dawns quiet, too quiet for what's coming. Flagstaff wakes under a pale orange sunrise that feels deceptive, like calm painted over chaos. Outside the courthouse, news vans hum. Reporters sip coffee, waiting for the next shock in a story that refuses to stop evolving. Inside, Meri, Janelle, and Christine wait in the hallway outside Judge Ramirez's chambers. They don't speak much anymore. After days of hearings, the silence between them has changed. It isn't hostile now, it's haunted. Christine finally breaks it. "The envelopes," she whispers. "Do you think he wrote something to all of us?" Meri nods. "Knowing Kody, it won't be an apology. It'll be a sermon." Janelle exhales sharply. "Then let him preach." "I'm done listening." A bailiff opens the door. "The judge will see you now." The three women enter. Ramirez sits behind her desk, a stack of evidence bags beside her, each labeled with a name. She gestures for them to sit. These were recovered from the SR Holdings storage unit. They've been cleared by investigators. What you choose to do with them is your decision. She pushes the first one forward. Meri's, then Janelle's, then Christine's. The paper inside is folded neatly, sealed with wax. Ramirez pauses. There was a fourth envelope, too. Christine's brow furrows. "Fourth?" The judge nods, addressed to Robyn. At that exact moment, the door creaks. Robyn enters, her expression blank, eyes rimmed red. She sits silently as the judge slides the final envelope toward her. "You may open them together if you wish," Ramirez says quietly. "I'll leave the room." When the door closes, the sound of the latch feels final. Meri breaks the seal first. Her hand trembles, but her face remains stone. She unfolds the page slowly. To Meri. "You were always loyal, even when you shouldn't have been. The land was my way of keeping you tied to me. You wanted freedom, but you never realized you already had it. You just needed me gone. Meri's throat tightens. He still doesn't get it. Janelle opens hers next. To Janelle, you were the business mind, the practical one. I needed your structure. You needed my name. Don't pretend you didn't benefit from it. Every bill, every loan, every mortgage had my signature. Remember that when they paint me as the villain? Janelle's jaw locks. He's rewriting the story again. Even now, Christine opens hers last. To Christine. You were the rebellion that ruined everything. You wanted to be seen, and I gave you that stage. Now you're dancing on my ashes. Congratulations! Her eyes glisten, but she doesn't cry. He's still blaming me for leaving, she says softly. Then Robyn's shaking hands open the final envelope. Inside are only 2 lines. To Robyn, if they come for me, show them the red folder. Everyone looks up at once. Janelle frowns. What red folder? Robyn's breathing quickens. I don't know. Christine's voice sharpens. Yes, you do. I don't. Robyn snaps, standing abruptly. I haven't seen it since... She stops mid-sentence, eyes darting toward the door. Since he went to the storage unit. Meri rises slowly. Then that's what he was looking for. 2 hours later, police search teams comb through the recovered boxes from the storage site. Dozens of dusty folders litter the evidence table, but none are read. The tension builds with every passing minute. Finally, an officer calls out from the back corner. Found something? He emerges holding a crimson binder frayed at the edges, sealed with duct tape. The words Brown Family Trust, Revision are scribbled across the front. Judge Ramirez orders it opened in the courtroom that afternoon. When the gavel strikes, the room is packed to bursting again. The air feels electric. The red folder sits on the evidence table like a bomb waiting to go off. Proceed, Ramirez says. The prosecutor opens the folder. Inside are typed pages, drafts of new trust agreements, unsigned but detailed. Each one lists the parcels of Coyote Pass and their intended heirs. Christine leans forward. Intended heirs? The prosecutor nods grimly. Yes, each parcel was to be transferred to Robyn's children upon Kody's death. None of your names appear on any version of these documents. The courtroom gasps. Robyn's hand flies to her mouth. No, she whispers. He said it was temporary, just paperwork to protect the kids. Meri shakes her head. No, Robyn, this wasn't protection. This was erasure, the prosecutor continues. In addition, we discovered a handwritten page tucked behind the last contract. He unfolds it carefully. The handwriting is unmistakable. Kody's. Once the others are out, the land and trust will revert fully to SR Holdings. Assets will then be liquidated. Robyn is to manage proceeds. TLC will handle PR in exchange for first rights on future property-based filming contracts. The courtroom erupts in noise. The judge pounds the gavel until silence returns. Ramirez looks stunned. This indicates coordination between private entities and Mr. Brown for personal profit. This isn't just family fraud, it's contractual corruption. Christine mutters. He sold us out for TV. Robyn buries her face in her hands, sobbing. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know, Janelle whispers to Meri. He was planning to rebuild the show around her. Meri's voice is calm, but cold. He always wanted to be the star, no matter who burned for it. The prosecutor hands the note to the judge. We'll need to subpoena communications between Mr. Brown and the TLC network. If this contract exists, it could represent a conspiracy to defraud his co-signers and misrepresent assets. The judge nods grimly. So ordered. As the session adjourns, Robyn remains seated, staring blankly ahead. Her mascara has run in streaks, but she doesn't move to wipe it. He made me sign things I never read, she whispers. He said it was just for taxes. Christine stands beside her. He lied to all of us. You just believed him the longest. Outside, reporters clamor for statements. The words federal investigation and network involvement race through the crowd. Cameras flash. Microphones thrust forward. Meri stops at the top of the courthouse steps, staring out at the flashing lights. He didn't just betray his family, she says quietly. He betrayed every person who ever believed the show was real, Janelle adds. And now the whole world's watching the truth. That night, the courthouse locks are sealed tight. Evidence technicians finish cataloging the red folder. Among the papers, they find one final document wedged between pages, a typed letter dated just a week before the trial began. It reads, Contingency plan. If exposed, contact Network Counsel. Frame as storyline. Keep control of narrative. The technician stares at it, murmuring, My God, He slips it into an envelope labeled confidential and walks it to Judge Ramirez's office. Meanwhile, somewhere on the outskirts of Flagstaff, headlights cut through the dark. A familiar pickup truck idles near an abandoned storage shed. Kody steps out, wearing a ball cap low over his face. He peers through the window of the shed, sees the empty shelves, the missing red folder, and whispers, "They got it." His voice trembles, not from fear but realization. It's over. But then he looks down at the duffel bag at his feet, filled with papers and hard drives that weren't in the unit. "Almost over," he mutters, smirking faintly. He drives off into the desert night,